So I thought I would film a designer handbag collection video. I don't have a huge handbag collection and I'm not somebody who owns a lot of designer things. I love my Primark, I love my New Look and my Miss Selfridge. That's where I like to shop. But I must confess, when it comes to handbags, I do like the odd designer piece. So I thought it'd be really good to show you my collection, and they're all under £500, apart from one. I must confess that one handbag is over £500, but the rest of them, they're under £500 and they're what I would call a sort of entry-level designer handbag. So when you're making that first foray into maybe spending a little bit more money, this is the sort of area within which you'll be spending. You know, the Michael Kors, the Kate Spade, it's those kind of handbags around the £200–300 mark. And that's where I started. That's where I started buying mine, at that sort of price point. And I haven't really ever gone too far beyond that, apart from one, which I'll get to at the very end. For me, the only time that I would maybe spend more money than that would be on a Chanel handbag. It is my dream to own a Chanel handbag, and I think the difference is with some of these other bags that maybe have a longevity to them that's not that long. They're not going to last a lifetime because they're either not going to be in fashion anymore or they're not going to be to your taste. A Chanel bag is an absolute investment. If you buy a classic shape in a classic colour, it will never date. You will always be able to carry it, and I think that's why it's sort of my dream to own one. And that would be where I would, if I was going to spend thousands of pounds on a bag, that is where I would be doing it. I ain't going to be doing that anytime soon. I don't earn that kind of money. I don't have that kind of money to spend, but it is a dream and something I would love to save up for one day. However, I would also like to go on holidays and possibly buy a new car. So those things tend to come before buying a handbag. But I thought I would show you guys just my little collection of bags. They're all mini bags. I am somebody who likes small handbags. Tends to be crossbody as well. I do like to wear my handbag across rather than having to hold it. But yeah, I love all of them. And I'm so glad that I bought all of them. There are a couple that I'm possibly thinking of selling because I just don't use them enough. So we'll see. I'm sort of in a bit of a debate about it, but I'd rather they didn't sit in a drawer. And I thought before I got rid of any, I would show you my whole collection. I thought I would start at the beginning from my first bag and talk you through sort of all the bags I've bought, why I chose them, where I got them from. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it interesting. And I guess we should get started. The first ever bag that I bought that was more than a few pounds was a Rebecca Minkoff bag, and I had seen it on another girl's Instagram called Tatiana, and she had this amazing mini pink bag that I just thought was so cool, so cute, and it looked like a Chanel, and that's what I liked about it, I suppose. It looked like a mini Chanel, and I remember going on the website and having a look and finding that obviously they weren't as expensive as Chanel, but they were still, for me at that time, quite a lot of money. So this was back in 2015. That was when I bought my first one, and it was this. The Rebecca Minkoff Love Mini Love Crossbody, and I still absolutely adore it, and it's pink, and obviously I do love pink. So I'd never really heard of Rebecca Minkoff before. She's an American designer, it's an American company, and I found when I was looking that the best prices were on RebeccaMinkoff.com itself. But this would have been the first time that I would have ever bought anything from the US and of sort of a considerable amount of money. So I signed up to the mailing list, and I heard that they were going to be having a sale. Now, because it was in America, this sale was like, it started in the middle of the night here in the UK. So I set my alarm for when it was happening. And yeah, got up and knew that this was the one that I wanted to buy. But, oh God, the anxiety of spending hundreds, well, I can't remember how much it was. I think I've got everything written down here. I had a look back at my PayPal and it was around $150, and that was with, so you prepaid the import taxes. So that's the thing, when you buy something from the US and it's going to come shipped over here, you are going to get charged import fees and taxes. quite often now on websites they will add it on, so when it turns up you don't have anything else to pay, and that's what Rebecca Minkoff did, which was good because you could see exactly how much it was going to be. But yes, I sat there in the middle of the night with so much anxiety, and the funniest thing about this was that I tried to put it on my credit card or my credit card or my debit card or something, and it wouldn't go through. It kept rejecting it, and at like 2 a.m. I'm there trying to place this order from RebeccaMinkoff.com, and it fails. And so I get a phone call from Visa or whoever saying, we think somebody's trying to use your card. And I was like, it's not somebody, it's me. And in the end I had to pay using PayPal. So yeah, so it is the Mini Love crossbody, and it's got that kind of quilted design that's very similar to Chanel, and that's kind of what gives it that feel, that Chanel feel. So it's pink and silver hardware. It's got a little twist lock here, and it opens up like this, and it has the cutest lining. I mean, look how nice that is. Isn't that nice? It is small. Oh look, there's something in here. What's in here? Oh look, there's a business card, a blog business card from back in the day when people actually used them. Yeah, you don't get much in here, I must confess. You only get your phone in here and you know, maybe there's a small wallet and whatnot. But I absolutely adore it. I still think it's like just the best bag in the world. I don't think I'll ever sell this because I really, really like it. It's just super cute, totally impractical, really, for like going into London. I couldn't put my camera in it or anything. But sometimes when you buy a bag, it is about love and not practicality. And I think that's the thing. If you're spending that amount of money, you have to love it. And you have to love it. You have to buy it because you love it and not because it's in fashion. And I'll get to that later when I show you one of my other bags. My first designer unboxing experience was not great. It arrived in plastic. It had no tissue paper on it. It was just in a box, and there was no dust bag. And I must confess, I was a bit disheartened. And I did actually tweet Rebecca Minkoff, and bless them, they did actually send me a package not long after to say sorry. And in there, all wrapped in beautiful tissue, was a dust bag, a little Rebecca Minkoff notebook, pink notebook, and a little Rebecca Minkoff compact mirror. And you know what, it made up for it, it did, but I never had that sort of unboxing thing where it all comes in tissue paper, and to be honest, none of these did. Maybe one day I'll have that, but yeah, so far I've not had that sort of lovely experience. So that is bag number one, my Rebecca Minkoff Mini Love crossbody. So bag number two that I bought was a Michael Kors, and I was never really a big Michael Kors bag. I think for a lot of people that was their first sort of purchase of a like, I guess what you would call a designer bag. I was never hugely into Michael Kors. I think partly because I don't like huge big bags, and I never really was that fussed by the brand. I think now actually their bags are so nice, but yeah, I found a bag that I liked and I bought it more, partly because I had a voucher. So I bought it from House of Fraser, who do sell Michael Kors. I bought it online, had a House of Fraser voucher. I love little mini crossbody bags, and they have this really cute bag that I thought would be really versatile, and I have to say I have got a lot of use out of it. And it was this, the Jet Set crossbody bag. I don't know that you can get this anymore. You can probably get something similar. I would have thought that they've redesigned this shape, because this was back in 2016 I bought this, I think. So it's a creamy colour, creamy leather, gold hardware, little gold Michael Kors plaque, I guess. Zip on the top. Quite simple lining. It's the classic beige Michael Kors monogrammed lining, and it's got a really nice little card holder section in there, and then a little smaller section at the back. And you can get a surprising amount in here. Get my wallet, my phone, my keys, maybe some lipstick and stuff. And it goes with everything, and it's so great. I like this as like a little airport bag. So say I've got a carry-on case for the plane and I just want a bag for my passport and maybe some money, then this is a really, really good bag. And it's a good bag for like holiday, for just putting, you know, a few euros in or whatever and nothing else. I think it was around about £90. Again, it wasn't the greatest experience receiving it. It came just basically in plastic. Then it even came in like a plastic envelope, you know, like you would get an online order in. So I was really disappointed. I'm not having much luck with this wonderful unboxing experience, am I? But then it's more about what you do with the bag afterwards, and I have used this load, so it has got a couple of marks on it on the back, but it's been well used and well loved. My third bag that I got was another Rebecca Minkoff. I actually got it as part of an event that I went to with a brand called Farfetch. So they have a website where they curate loads of designer pieces from sort of online marketplaces all in one place. And we went to this event and we were allowed to pick an item, and on the day when we arrived we were all given our item and then we got to shoot with it with a professional photographer, and it was all to, you know, promote Farfetch and the website and everything. And I picked Rebecca Minkoff, but I actually wanted something that I was going to take home and use, and it wouldn't just be in a photo for that day and then that was it. So I picked the Rebecca Minkoff Mini Moto Tote, and it is this little, again, a mini bag. It's in black leather, silver hardware, and actually I picked this because I was finding that I didn't have a black bag with silver hardware. So if I did go to London or out generally and I was wearing cool colours like grey, and I'm one of those people, I like all my hardware to match. I like my earrings, my jewellery and everything to all match. I'm like that anal about it. And I just felt like I didn't have a bag that could fit a few things in, could wear crossbody, that had the silver hardware. So I chose this. And I did have a nice unboxing experience. In fact, all the girls that were at the event, I'll link the blog post all about it below, we all opened these beautiful boxes that Farfetch had done, and they had done it really, really nice, and this was all wrapped in tissue, and it was so nice to sit around with everybody and see what everybody had got. And yeah, it was actually a really, really nice experience, and I was really happy with it, but I knew exactly what it looked like. Yeah, so it unzips. It's quite roomy actually for a small bag. I can fit my Olympus pen in here, maybe it's with a lens, because if you can see the shape, it's like a triangular shape, so it's got some actual depth to it. So yeah, my Olympus pen fits in here, my wallet, my phone, everything. So it's a really good go into London bag, but it's still nice and small, and yeah, it's got the little handle if you want to hold it like that. This was, I believe, on Farfetch when I chose it, around about £225. It is real leather. That tends to be around where Rebecca Minkoff bags are. I've used it quite a lot. I used it a lot in the first year that I had it. I carried it pretty much everywhere. I think, unfortunately, then when you end up with more bags, even just bags from like the high street, sometimes bags like this can get put away and not get used as much. But I don't think it's one I'm going to get rid of because it is just a classic shape. Yeah, so I own 2 Rebecca Minkoffs, and she does clothes as well, and shoes. I mean, she does all sorts, and I've actually never been to the store in New York. When I went to New York, I didn't actually go, and I really, really wish I had. But yeah, so that is my Rebecca Minkoff. And then my next really big bag purchase was a Kate Spade. And I feel really sad filming this today because it actually has only, the news has only just broken 2 days ago about the fact that she died. She took her own life, which is so, so sad. I mean, I'm not going to get into the things of it, but for me, Kate Spade was a brand that I aspired to own. Her pieces are so fun, so energetic. I mean, she just amazing novelty pieces. I don't know if you remember the bag that was like shaped like a plant pot, or the one that was shaped like a watering can. I mean, incredible. For me, because they were expensive, I couldn't invest my money into a novelty bag. I had to purchase something, well, I felt that was more mainstream and I would get more use out of, as much as I would have loved to have bought something really, really novelty. So when I went to New York, I decided that I would save up some money and that I would go to the Kate Spade store and I would treat myself. Oh my God, it was so magical. It really was. It's like a townhouse, 4 floors of just, and like on the top floor is all the bridal stuff as well, and homeware. I love the homeware as well, and I have some of the homeware, which again I'll link the blog post below. But oh, it just honestly, and I wrote a blog post about it because it was such a beautiful store. It was done so well, and the night, well actually that morning, they'd just done it over for the brand new season. So I was like one of the first people to see these brand new season bags. So what I bought was, and I'm gonna have to read what the name of this is. I bought this black bag, and it is the Holden Street Small Laney. I bought it in a textured leather, which is quite quirky for Kate Spade. A lot of her bags are the very smooth leather, and I really liked this textured leather. I think it makes it look really, really expensive. And this is quite a different shape, certainly for then when I was shopping there. And I just really, really liked the classic shape of it and the gold hardware. So it's a sort of, I would say it's not my smallest bag, it's a medium to small bag, upper handle, zip top with these like buckle details. It's got a long shoulder strap as well. Inside is the most amazing lining, and a couple of pockets in there. So at first I loved this bag. I like really loved it, and I was so proud to have bought it. All the packaging and everything is so beautiful, and I was so excited to walk out with my big Kate Spade gift bag with this inside. And I think it was about $300, which I've no idea what that sort of translated to then. I haven't used it as much as I thought I was going to. In the beginning I really did, but there was a couple of things that bothered me about it. One was that it's always stayed quite tight, and the zip, this toothed zip, well I mean all zips are toothed, but it's always stayed quite sharp. So when you put your hand inside the bag, you kind of get a bit scratched. It just bugged me the way that it sort of didn't open up enough to get your hand in. And I also think over the years, so I bought it in 2000, yeah, it must have been 2016 as well. I feel like my tastes have changed now, my style has changed. I'm just not using it as much. And actually I decided not long ago that this was going to be one of the bags that I was going to sell. I'm slightly having second thoughts now after obviously what's happened recently. I don't know, there's a part of me that feels really sad if I sell it. So I really can't decide what to do, but it's just not getting used. So, I mean, I'd love your advice, guys, what you think I should do. But I have to say it was a really magical experience buying it, and the staff in the store were wonderful, and it honestly is one of my best designer handbag purchase experiences. Not that I've had loads, but yeah, it was really, really nice. So that's my Kate Spade. And then not long after I fell in love with Kate Spade, I fell in love with another brand called Furla. Now, not a lot of people have heard of Furla. I think they're an Italian brand. They do these incredible small little box bags, and I'd seen something about them where you could buy the bag which has the removable flap. So they do that bag, and it's the bag that last summer everybody was copying. So the whole high street was full of these little box bags with the very distinctive gold clasp on the front. And I had it in my head that I really, really wanted to buy one. And I went on a trip to New York with some other bloggers. And in fact, one of the other bloggers, Hayley, we'd all gone to the Furla store, and I was telling her all about these bags and everything. And she bought one. She bought a black one with 2 flaps to go with it. I did buy a bag, but I didn't buy the bag that I thought I was going to. So I bought a Furla Metropolis satchel. It's the mini satchel in pink. And it's this. It's like a little top-handled little satchel bag. So this clasp is very distinctive Furla. It's what makes like Furla's, it's sort of their signature, I guess. So it has that about it, but it doesn't have the traditional box shape to it. It's obviously got this satchel shape to it. but I loved the pink colour. And I don't know whether it was because I was with a group of girls and I like tried it on and it went with my outfit that day. Like I put it on crossbody and they were all like, oh wow, that looks amazing. And I think you get maybe swept up in the moment, but if I'm honest, I wish I could have gone back and bought the classic box bag with the removable flaps. I think that's where I should have put my money, because this is bag number 2 that hasn't really got used that much, and it was around about $300. So, you know, it wasn't necessarily cheap. It wasn't, you know, a small amount of money, and I'm really sad that I haven't used it more, and I sort of been trying to use it recently, but I think what doesn't get used about it is it's quite prim. You know what I mean? Like quite prim and proper, and I wouldn't say I'm a prim and proper kind of girl. Yeah, so I can't decide about this one. I still look at it and think, oh, it's so pretty, but it just doesn't get used, and I think sometimes you have to bite the bullet and get rid. But yeah, this was I can't even add them up now, but this was the next purchase that I made in New York. So one of the reasons why I'm sort of inclined to sell it is because last year I went on a press trip and I went on a cruise, an amazing cruise. I will link the blog post below. It literally was the press trip of a lifetime, and it was on board a Cunard cruise to New York. And one of the stores on board the cruise ship, and it was a brand new store to them, was Furla. And when I arrived to my cabin on the day that we were setting sail from Southampton, I arrived in my cabin and there was some beautiful things all laid out on the bed for me, and in fact the other blogger who was on the trip as well. And one of them was a Furla handbag, and I must confess, I cried, and it was incredible, and I was so humbled, and the fact that it was a brand that I absolutely adore. So we were given, both of us, an identical bag, and it was the black classic Furla Metropolis in the slightly textured leather. It's not one of the ones that you can remove the flaps, which is a shame, because obviously it would be lovely to have been able to like buy more flaps and customise it, but it is such a classic shape. It's such an easy to wear bag. I've used it so much, and so I think that's why I'm more inclined to maybe get rid of the other one. This one's obviously cheaper than the other one. I think these sell for around about, I've checked my money now, around about between $220 and $250. It depends where you get them from. They do them in the most amazing patterns and designs and things. But yeah, a classic black one will, you know, go with everything. You've got the chain strap, so you can wear it crossbody. You can also take that out. So it's on like a T-bar. You can T-bar it out through the hole, and then you can just carry it as a clutch as well. But yeah, I love this, and it's one of the best souvenirs, apart from my dressing gown that they gave me from my cruise. Such a nice souvenir, and something that I've really, really got wear out of. So yeah, that was my, not necessarily a purchase, that was a gifted designer handbag. So my last designer handbag I actually got before that Furla, but it's my biggest one, and that's why I've kind of left it till last. It was a slightly, not rash purchase. It was a purchase that I made when I was in Paris. So I'd gone to Paris for the day with La Redoute, and I was really lucky that I'd gone, the other blogger going was my friend Emma. But yeah, so we went on this trip together to Paris, and we had some free time in the afternoon, and we ended up in Galeries Lafayette, and we went to the Gucci store. And this was around about the time that everybody had the Gucci Dionysus, the small one or the sort of medium one with the green, you know, textured print and the snake serpent clasp. And I don't know how we ended up in Gucci. I think we'd only gone to look, and I must confess I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and in hindsight, no, not in hindsight, because I'm really, really happy that I bought it, but I bought it and I didn't really know how I was going to pay for it. That's the truth, and that's not the best way to buy a bag. I think you should be sure that you can afford it. But I bought it on my credit card. It was really, really good price. The exchange rate was really, really good. And we also had been given some money by the brand, and I put a little bit of the money towards it. It was a lovely buying experience because I was with Emma, and I really, really respect Emma's point of view. And she knows a lot about fashion. She also owns a lot of designer handbags, and so it was so nice for her to be there, but it was rushed. It was so rushed because we were supposed to be meeting the rest of the La Redoute team outside Galeries Lafayette to go and then get our Eurostar. And oh my God, like they couldn't find, the only bag that they had, the one I wanted, was the one on display. And Emma was like, you don't want your first ever designer handbag to be the one that's like been out. You want a brand new one in the box and everything. So they ran around Galeries Lafayette trying to find me another one, and they did, but it was literally like a bit like this. Afterwards, I was filled with buyer's regret, and I was panicking about how much money I'd spent. And it was only when we got to the Eurostar station with all the other girls, and I got it out and everybody was cooing over it, and it was such a nice moment. And I remember Emma saying to me, oh, I got all emotional, because actually it was a big thing for me, and it was something I still love to this day, and I just wish it wasn't so rushed. That's my only negative about it. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I'm just going to get to the bag. So I still have my original bag that it came in because, well, you know, who wouldn't keep the bag? It's not often I shop at Gucci, is it? So, but yeah, so this is the original bag and the original box inside. But yeah, it came in a nice box, and it's probably not in its dust bag. It does have a dust bag. Here she is. Now Emma names all of her bags. If you watch her channel, which, oh, if you don't, you should. She names all of her handbags. Like she has one called Judith, and I can't remember what her Chanel is called. Maybe her Chanel's Judith. Anyway, I don't have names for mine, but I do call her a her, and she is lovely. So she is there's different names for her. Whenever I tried to find her online when I came back from Paris, I couldn't actually find her for a while, or couldn't find the bag for a while. But it is the Dionysus Crossbody Supreme. Some places call it a wallet on a chain. It's not. The wallet on the chain is much smaller. It's like this size. This is a small bag. This is not a big bag. I couldn't afford a big bag, and I tried it on and I just loved it. It is a small little bag. It has the silver hardware chain. It's the classic GG Supreme. It's like a textured canvas, which is really also really, really hard wearing. It's not like when you get something that's calfskin leather and it just scratches. It has the serpent clasp, but it's a lot smaller, which I also really, really like. Inside it does fan out like a wallet, and you've got sort of card holder at the back. There's a zip section, and the chain unclips, so you can carry it as a clutch as well. So I love it, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, and not everybody would spend this amount of money on it. And also I bought it right on the cusp of when the Gucci Marmont was just becoming fashionable. The Marmont and the Disco, you know, the little rounded bag, but the Marmont was just becoming popular. That was the bag that everybody was starting to buy. And Emma did say to me, you know, the Dionysus has maybe had its moment, but this is what I was talking about earlier, about buying something that you love. The Marmont just didn't do it for me. I liked the look of it, but it just didn't do it for me. Now, okay, I wouldn't turn my nose up at a Marmont. I mean, to be fair, who would turn their nose up at anything Gucci? But I still don't regret buying this because I loved it. Now, this is the one bag that isn't £500, as you can imagine. My mum still doesn't know how much this bag was, and I am slightly afraid to tell her, because I think for a lot of people the price for something of this size seems so ridiculous. And I know that that is the case, but you're paying for the name. I mean, you're paying for the quality. It's a beautifully made bag. You're paying for the box and all the stuff that goes around it. But with exchange rate and everything, I think it was about £700. £750, I think. I've never seen it for that much since. When I see it online, it's between 800 and 900, so that makes me really happy. I know that I got myself a good deal, so I'm really, really happy with that. But yeah, my mum is probably, if she's watching this, having an absolute coronary. So sorry, Mum. But yeah, I love it. But this is the last big bag that I bought, and I must confess I don't have any others really in the pipeline because it was so much money and because there's nothing else that I've really fallen in love with. Like I said, you know, I like the Gucci Marmont, but you know, everybody's got one of them, and I also really love a good high street bag, and I'm probably going to do another video with some of my favourite high street bags because there's just so many good ones out there. And I only want the odd piece of designer because there's only so much designer that you can wear with your Primark wardrobe. But yeah, I don't care. I carry my Gucci wearing my Primark wardrobe, so who wouldn't? But yeah, so that's all of my designer handbags. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'd love to know what you guys think, which is your favourite, and also like how you feel about designer pieces. Are you somebody who likes to buy them? Are they something that you aspire for, or are you just really, really not fussed? But either way, give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and of course do subscribe because I'm always doing new videos and I've got loads more to come. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.